Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the launch of this new book by Charles Capwell, which was earlier published as The Bowls of Bengal. This is now retitled as Sailing on the Sea of Love. This book was, I think, one of the very earliest in the field of ethnomusicology of a Westerner writing on, in fact, non-classical traditions of South Asia. And I think for many who only read English, I think it was the first book of its kind on the music of the bowls, which is why it's been so important. So we have a panel today of a few people who will discuss what they think about music of bowls or what their feelings about the book and so on. And we have with us, as you see, many members of the bowl community who also will join in the discussion as and when they would like to do this. I think we first thank Naveen Kishore and Seagull for undertaking this publication of this book, because it's been long out of print and not been very accessible anyway to people in India, even when it was. And Sally Grossman, for whom it had been, I think, an obsession for many years to get this book out again, and was buying it on eBay for as long as anybody can remember and gifting it to people. I have one of them from her as well. I am Shubha Chaudhary from the Archives and Research Center for Ethnomusicology. We're from the American Institute of Indian Studies. And just to add my note to it, I think when we started the archives in 1982, one of the first gifts or donations we had was this big parcel from Charlie with 2 volumes of this typescript and 2 reel tapes accompanying what was then his dissertation. So I have a really special soft for him and for that book for that reason. We'll just go on to everybody who could maybe just introduce themselves a little, and maybe just start by saying, what do you think is different or special about the music of the bowls? Is that okay?
Well, very good evening to all the distinguished guests, and I'd like to congratulate Charles Capswell on this book launch. And okay, I'm Bonnie Chakravarti. I'm a music producer based out of Bombay, and I'm working with the film and advertising industry. But beyond that, I have a contemporary a folk platform called Oikotan, where we've been archiving, documenting, and performing baul music. Well, my interaction with the bowls for the last 10 years has resulted in me making a small documentary film with them. And what I find really special about them is I've never been able to capture one performance by them which is so very special, and they keep reinterpreting, re-evolving their cult and their tradition, and that's been a way of life. They have withstood, with all the changing times, and I certainly felt the need that all the bowls need a big recognition inside of West Bengal and an independent licensing, and that's already been achieved by Sally, and I would like to congratulate her for that. But I certainly feel that Baul is the intellectual gift of Bengal to this world. It's a very important thing, and last few years we've seen a lot of contemporary bands using Baul music. But I would request all these people to please get into the philosophy and what they are trying to say, because Baul is not only about the music, it's about the philosophy. That's what I have learned for the last 10 years.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sanjay Bandyopadhyay. I teach at the Rabindra Bharati University as Ustad Alauddin Khan Professor of Instrumental Music. And also I'm a director of a research center, the name of S.M. Tagore, that documents and researches on obsolescent musical instruments. And my presence here is primarily because I am Professor Charles Capwell's very close friend. Actually, this is my identification here, nor am I an expert in baul. but I have opportunities to listen to Baul, to see their performances. And I am very glad that the second edition of his book on Baul could be seen in print. And I must also congratulate Sally Grossman, for everything she did, and this baularchive.com. This is another site, it's a very interesting site where you can see high resolution videos and other information. And what I find interesting is that a Baul trying to transmit their philosophy, a composer constantly composing, writing lyrics, singing the song, accompanying the song, dancing with it. So one person who's a philosopher, a lyricist, a poet, a composer, and the performer, and the accompanying, assisting performer, one person. This is, I believe, that's a unique phenomenon in the world. And the way they speak their inner self, they speak out their inner self, is something. Because Baul, as Bonnie just pointed out, that Baul is more on, that's right, on philosophy. And the other part that I told is possibly magic, that one person doing everything. When in a production, we have individual person, they are taking care of each part. And also the visions, the visionary, the visual impact, the beautiful dress, or there are different types of dress, but they're so nicely, so it looks beautiful how they perform, and it takes you to different world. So thank you very much.
I am Shaktinath Jha, a teacher. Still I am teaching. I am not a musician, not musicologist. Simply, I have taken Baul Dikha, living with them and doing some research work. This is I. It is a pleasure to attend this meeting. The book, which has been translated, it is not the book of music. I think musical parts is not translatable. He translated poetry. So, I beg your pardon, some of my views are basically different. Bauls are not other. They are like other people, like us. Most of them are singers, not practitioners. Some of them are practitioners, and the serious practice is now waning. So some of my opinion is basically different. Please don't mind. The book which has been translated, it is the translation of the words or translation of the poetry. Last year, I have collected 1,000 Baul songs, and I told Padaboli, without Swaralipi or musicology, it is not song. I failed to give this, and I think Baul song is unique because it has no any Swaralipi or prefix notion or musicology. That's why it is independent, they can express themselves, and always it varies. This is my opinion. Thank you for inviting me here.
Good evening, everybody, and to those যারা সামনে বসে আছেন তাদেরকে জয় গুরু আলেকসাই, গুরু সত্য, গুরুর বাক্য সত্য। Um, what I guess makes me relevant to this tonight's event is probably the fact that I do know Charlie rather, since the mid-90s, and I'm one of those eBay recipients of the book. Well, not quite eBay. I chanced upon it really in a second-hand bookstore in New York, and that book really opened my eyes. And since then, like Sally, I've kept dreaming that someday someone somewhere would reissue the book, come up with a second edition, because it deserves to be, because it's, as you said, Shubha, it's a pioneering book in the field. Others have gone on to write about Lalun, but not just Lalun, but Bowles in general. But Charlie's book stands out in the sense that it's from the early 80s, and his research was done at a time period which is also very interesting in the history of Bengal, which is the decade of the 70s. So that aside, I would also like to thank Sally and Baul Archive for having me over, because as Sally and I were having a meal together a few weeks ago, and we were talking about us being kindred spirits, giving a lot of time and effort into similar projects like the Baul Archive. I have personally been working not just on Bowles, but one specific person among the Bowles and Pokirs, in particular Lalun Shah Pokir. And my work, although it has concentrated mainly on the other side of the border in Kushtia, of course, I mean, when you look at Lalun, you cannot but help talk about Baul philosophy in general. And I don't have much more to add. That's one of the pitfalls of being the last one in the line, that you suddenly think that, oh my God, what am I going to say? Everything has been said. The only thing is, I would like to use this platform to sound out a caveat with regard to how divided the Baul world too stands between the two nations of India and Bangladesh. How the partition has turned the word Baul one way and the word Pokir another way, whereas at some point they were both the same. They're still the same, but nonetheless, my research seems to indicate that there's a lot of tension between the word Baul and the word Pokir. And this is something that people need to be aware of, particularly those of us who are in the domain of the printed word and the spoken and recorded word, because ultimately, we are talking about classes here, we're talking about privileges here, and if you look at that, those of us who have the privilege of, for example, speaking in this language, there is a lot of colonial baggage, there's a lot of anthropological baggage which is a fait accompli. It's connected to colonialism. We can't really dissociate anthropology from colonialism. So while it is, of course, necessary to document, to write about Bowles, to write about anything that has to do with the Bowles, it also needs to be kept in mind constantly that we are, those of us who are doing the actual research, are not the doers, we are not the practitioners. And no matter how hard we try, that's a line that is probably inviolable at one level. And that has to be kept in perspective, with which comes the politics of nation. Lalun Pokir, for example, is a bridge now that straddles the river Podda, is a postage stamp that represents Bangladesh, that represents India as well. He has been put on the postage stamp of both nations. Lalun has been made into umpteen films, one of which is playing right now in the theaters. He has become the subject of a novel that is done with the flimsiest amount of research, but it's still turned into a film. So these things are going on, and there is a cautionary moral somewhere in there that we as researchers need to keep burning in our minds even as we do the work. Now, I personally have been trying to do that. I was asked to also introduce myself, so I'll do that at the end, which is I've been working, I'm mainly a theatre person. My name is Shrudipto Chatterjee. And I've been working on a project for the last 5 years called Man of the Heart, which has been with the subtitle, The Life and Times of Lalun Shah Phokir, which is not a biography of Lalun Phokir, but a performance that surrounds the issues around Lalun Phokir, his work, his legacy, his music, his practice, his times. And the project is evolving, and while working on the project, I've also started, unbeknownst to myself, developing a tiny little archive of myself, which consists mainly of field recordings from Kushtia, which is where, again, there is an interface between the Baul Archive and my own little work. And I'm thankful to Baul Archive as well as Sally and for having asked me to join and this really hallowed company here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think two issues that I think we were going to talk about have arisen from what you've been saying. One is the whole issue of people being practitioners as well as musicians, and where this divide, you feel, has started appearing. The danger of looking at them merely as singers or performers, as opposed to practitioners of a certain belief system. And the other that we were going to come to, that you've already broached, is the issue of the terminology of Phokir and Baul, which, as a very much an outsider, I've felt I've been just hearing this more recently, that in the last few years we see a rise of this term, and it does seem to refer to nationality or in some peculiar way to religion, which is strange because Baul is meant to be above the traditional religious framework. So I wonder if any of you would like to address that, or you could ask if any of them would like to.
I like to tell something, but I like to talk with the Bauls and Phokirs. That's why I will speak in Bengali now. ভদ্রলোকেরা কিছু কিছু শব্দ তৈরি করেন, শহর থেকে তৈরি করে আমাদের উপর চাপিয়ে দেন, এবং তাদের শব্দ, ধরুন 10 জন ফকির দরকার, গোলামের কৌলিক উপাধি ফকির নয়, তার কৌলিক উপাধি অন্য কিছু, তাকে ফকির হতেই হয়। মনসুর আলী খাঁ, তাকে মনসুর ফকির লিখতেই হয়। লোকমান শেখ, তাকে ফকির হতে হয়, তা না হলে তো নিমন্ত্রণ করবে না। এই ক্যাটেগরিতে ফিট করতে হবে। আমি শুধু একটি কথা বলি, আমরা যারা ভাষাতত্ত্ব নিয়ে সামান্য পড়াশুনো করি তারা জানি যে ফাকরা তুর্কি শব্দ এবং আরবির মাধ্যমেও আমাদের ভাষায় এসেছিল, এবং তুর্কিস্তানে ফকির সম্প্রদায় 80 রকম সম্প্রদায় ছিল ফকির, এখনও আছে। এমনকি বাংলা একটা প্রবাদে, তুর্কি নাচন নাচিয়ে দেব, ওই হাল দশাপ্রাপ্ত হতেন তুর্কিস্তানের ফকিররা, এখনও টিভিতে বা যারা গেছেন ইস্তাম্বুলে দেখতে পারেন। একসময় নিষিদ্ধ হয়ে গিয়েছিল এগুলো, সেগুলো আছে। এই ফকিরদের শাখা কি আমাদের দেশে আছে? যখন ইংরেজি একটি শব্দ বাংলায় গৃহীত হয় তখন আমরা খ্রিস্টান শব্দ বলি না, কিন্তু একটি অশুভ রাজনৈতিক চেতনা আমাদের দেশে মধ্যপ্রাচ্যের সেমেটিক কিছু শব্দ বা ইন্দো ইরিয়ান ভাষার ইরানি শব্দকে মুসলমানি শব্দ হিসেবে চিহ্নিত করা হচ্ছে। আশ্চর্য। রামপ্রসাদ সেন, যিনি মুসলমান ছিলেন না, ফকির ছিলেন না, তার গানে ফকির শব্দটা ব্যবহার করেছেন। ফিকিরে ফকির করে বসে আছো রাজকুমারী। কি আশ্চর্য! লালন শুধু নিজেকে ফকির করে বলেননি, তার ধারণা মহাপ্রভু চৈতন্য এমন তরুণ বয়সে ফকিরি নিলে, মহাপ্রভুও ফকিরি নিয়েছিলেন। লালন যার নিজের বলে কিছু রাখতে নেই, আমাদের অর্থোডক্স সন্ন্যাসে বা বাউল ফকিরদের নিজের কোনো কিছু রাখতে নেই, ফকির হয়ে এটা দীক্ষা নিতে হয়। বাংলাদেশকে অবিভক্ত বাংলাকে যিনি বাউল গানে ভাসালেন, হরিনাথ মজুমদার ফিকির চাঁদ ফকিরে বলে তার ভনিতা। নীলকণ্ঠ মুখোপাধ্যায়, কুলীন ব্রাহ্মণের বাচ্চা, তিনিও ফকির শব্দটা ব্যবহার করেছেন। রবীন্দ্রনাথের দাদা ঠাকুর, তিনিও তো ফকির বেশে আসছেন। অর্থাৎ বাংলা ভাষায় এই শব্দটির অর্থ অন্যরকম। নিঃস্ব মানুষ, গরিব মানুষ বা এক শ্রেণীর মধ্যপ্রাচ্যের ধার্মিক ধর্ম সম্প্রদায় হতে পারে, কিন্তু বাংলায় সেই হিসাবে শব্দটা ব্যবহৃত হচ্ছে না। ফকির হয়ে গেছি আমরা বলি কথায় কথায়, এই অর্থেই ব্যবহার করা হচ্ছে। নিজের বলে কিছু রাখতে নেই, এটাই ফকির। এটা ইসলামী বা সাম্প্রদায়িক শব্দ নয়। হাল আমলে বাংলাদেশে ইসলামীকরণের ঝোঁকে এই শব্দটি চাপিয়ে দেওয়া হয়েছে। মুসলমান সমাজ থেকে বাউল ধ্বংসের ফতোয়া জারি হয়েছিল, বইটির নাম বাউল ধ্বংসের ফতোয়া, মুসলমান সমাজ থেকে। এবং আমরা সামান্য গবেষণা করে দেখিয়েছি কিছু শব্দ উচ্চারণ বৈশিষ্ট্য হারিয়ে সমরূপ প্রাপ্ত হয়। বাউল শব্দটি আরবিকে সমার্থক শব্দ আছে, ফার্সিতে আছে, বৌদ্ধ ঐতিহ্যে তো রয়েছেই, চর্যাপদে 4 বার বাউল আছে, বাজুলে, বায়ুরা, এই শব্দগুলো আছে। সংস্কৃতে তো আছেই, আমরা সবাই জানি। নানা সূত্র থেকে শব্দটা এসেছে। কি আশ্চর্য! উমা বসে আছে, আমি বাউল, এইভাবে তারা পরিচয় দেয় না, আমাদের দেখলে দেয়। কারণ বাউল গায়ক যখন খুঁজি, এটা না বললে তো ওকে আর ডাকবে না। অর্থাৎ শব্দ তৈরি করে, ক্যাটেগরি তৈরি করে, একটা অর্থ সৃষ্টি করে আমরা লোকসমাজের উপর চাপিয়ে দিই। বাউল শব্দটি মুসলমান সমাজ থেকে বাউল ধ্বংস হয়েছিল। আর হিন্দু সমাজে আরও বহু দৃষ্টান্ত দেয়া যায়। অক্ষয় কুমার দত্তের বই পড়ে দেখবেন হিন্দু সমাজে ফকির আছে। ঘোষপাড়ার যিনি প্রবর্তক, তিনি ফকির ঠাকুর। মুসলমান বা হিন্দু, এই ক্যাটেগরিগুলো আমরা সৃষ্টি করছি। যারা জাতপাতকে লাটে তুলে দিচ্ছেন, যারা জাতির বেড়াগুলো কেটে ধ্বংস করে দিচ্ছেন, আমরা আবার তাদের জাতের গোয়ালে এই ক্যাটেগরি তৈরি করে শব্দগুলো দিয়ে ঢোকাচ্ছি। এটা পরিতাপের বিষয়।
What Shaktinand Shah is trying to say is basically that these categories of Baul and Fakir have been imposed from above, and these are not categories which have existed among them. There's an entire tradition, and if you are looking at it etymologically, of the word Fakir being used in different contexts by different writers in Bengal, in Sanskrit, in Persian, etc. But a lot of it is due to politics, religious politics in Bangladesh and India, and a lot of it, this imposition of these categories, it comes from above, and it's not from within these communities themselves. That's basically, in a nutshell, what he was trying to say.
আচ্ছা, আমি একটা জিনিস ভুল করেছি, একটু অনুমতি আমাকে দিন। কিন্তু ইসলামী পরম্পরার ফকির আছে। 24 পরগনায় কেউ যদি থাকেন, মুশকিল আসানের গান করে, ইসলামী সমাজের মানুষ। ইসলামী সমাজে একরকম ভিক্ষুক আছে, তারা নিজেদের ফকির পরিচয় দেয়। এবং ইদানিংকালে সুফি শব্দটা চালু হচ্ছে। সুফি শব্দটি চালু হচ্ছে, ফকির, দরবেশ, সুফি সমার্থক শব্দ। আপনারা সবাই জানেন সুফি শব্দটি অ্যাংলিসাইজড ওয়ার্ড। আরবে তাসাউফ এই শব্দটি প্রচলিত, এটা অ্যাংলিসাইজড ওয়ার্ড। ইসলামের অনেকে নিজেদের একটা আইডেন্টিটি দিতে চান সুফি শব্দটা দিয়ে। আর পৃথিবীকে যারা নিয়ন্ত্রণ করেন, আমরা যদি বলি ইউরোপীয় এবং আমেরিকানরা, তারা অর্থোডক্স বা ফান্ডামেন্টাল ইসলামের চাইতে সুফি ধরনের ইসলামকে নিরাপদ বিবেচনায় এটাকেও প্রমোট করার চেষ্টা করেন। সেই কারণেই সুফিটা বাড়ছে। একদিকে ইসলামিক আইডেন্টিটি, অনেকে সুফি ধরনের ইসলাম নিরাপদ। এই দুটো কারণে বোধহয় শব্দটাকে ওপর থেকে চালু করছি। এইটুকুই। বাংলার বাউলদের যারা গবেষণা করেছেন, এনামুল হক 1935 সালে তার গবেষণা গ্রন্থ বঙ্গে সুফি প্রভাব, বাংলার বাউলদের তিনি সুফি বলেননি। রিজভী তার বিখ্যাত বইয়ে বাংলার বাউলদের সুফি বলেননি। সুফি এলিমেন্ট থাকতে পারে, বৌদ্ধ এলিমেন্ট থাকতে পারে, নাথ এলিমেন্ট থাকতে পারে, কিন্তু বাউলরা বাউল। বৃহৎবঙ্গের বাইরে, বৃহৎবঙ্গ, আমি দুবঙ্গের কথা বলছি, বাউল নেই। এটা বৃহৎবঙ্গেরই একটি শব্দ, সম্প্রদায়, গান, চর্যা, যাই বলুন। অন্য জায়গায় অন্য রকম আছে, ভক্তি আন্দোলনে সমধর্ম আছে, কিন্তু এত র্যাডিক্যাল আমি মনে করি না। প্রেমী বাউলদের একমাত্র কথা, জাতের বিরুদ্ধে, বর্ণের বিরুদ্ধে, দেহ সর্বস্ব মানুষের মানবাধিকারের জন্যে তাদের যে লড়াই, ভারতীয় ইতিহাসের প্রাচীন কাল থেকেই লড়াইটা চলছে, এবং তারা এই পতাকাটাকে বহন করে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে। গানের চাইতেও বড় প্রয়োজনীয় সমাজের একটি বিভেদমূলক সংস্কৃতির বিরুদ্ধে তারা তাদের জীবন দিয়ে, চর্যা দিয়ে, গান দিয়ে লড়াই করে চলেছে।
Okay, to put that across very briefly, he was saying that Bauls are a phenomenon, or Bauls as a community are very particular to West Bengal. So also the category of Sufi, or naming some of them as Sufi. There might be Sufi elements in Baul music, but again the word Sufi is an imposition from above. It's what he said was it's primarily an attempt by more anglicized or Western world, to see Islamic community as opposed to a more conservative fundamentalist Islam, and there's also the other form of Islam which is a Sufi and more liberal, etc., etc. So once again, that is an imposition from above. And the second point which he raised was this, that Baul philosophy is primarily a philosophy of love, and it primarily addresses a lot of discrimination and a lot of divisions which exist in society. And it is through this philosophy, they practice it through their rituals, through their body, that they try to spread this philosophy of love in their own way.
আমি তো ইংরেজিতে কিছু বলতে পারবো না, এবার এত যে কথাবার্তা হলো সব যে আমি বুঝতে পেরেছি, কিন্তু তাও ঠিক বুঝতে পারি নাই। তবে বাংলায় যেটুকু শক্তিনাথ বাবু বললেন তাতে জিনিসগুলো প্রায় ঠিকই। এবং এই যে বাউল আমাদের মানুষকে ভালোবাসা, মানুষ ধর্ম, হ্যাঁ, মানুষকে ভালোবাসা এবং মানুষের সেবা, এইটাই হচ্ছে বাউলদের ধর্ম। হ্যাঁ, এবং এই যে আমরা বাউল গানগুলি গাই, শুধু সুর, নৃত্য, ভঙ্গি এবং ছন্দ এগুলো মিলিয়ে আমরা গানগুলি যে আমরা গাই, তাই যে গানের ভাষাগুলি যেসব ফকির যারা লিখে গেছেন, লালন ফকির এবং হাওড়ে গোসাই, রাধাশ্যাম দাস, যাদবেন্দু, অনেকেই আছেন প্রাচীন যারা আমারও অগ্রে যারা গান বাজনা, এই সঙ্গীত, যাদের কাছ থেকে আমরা শিক্ষা লাভ করেছি। তা এই বাউল গানের শুধু খাওয়া দাওয়া, ঘুমানো, হ্যাঁ, এবং নাম সুনাম, হাততালি, এর জন্যই নয়। বাউলের মধ্যে একটা সাধনা আছে, সে সাধনা আধ্যাত্মিক বিষয়ে, এবং এই বিষয় নিয়ে এই যে শক্তিনাথ ঝা এতক্ষণ ধরে কথাগুলো বললেন, উনি বহুদিন থেকেই এই বাউল সঙ্গ করে আসছেন, আমাদের চোখের সামনে আমিও দেখে আসছি। হ্যাঁ, এবং এই যে বাউল সঙ্গীত, গানের ভাষাগুলি বাউলের সাধনার পথ নির্দেশ। তা যাই হোক, আমরা সেই গবেষণা নিয়ে আমরা থাকি এবং মানুষের জন্য আমরা গান শোনাই। যাই হোক, এটা আমারও কোনো ক্ষমতা নেই। তবে অনেকে বলে আপনি তো অনেক দেশ ঘুরেছেন, বিদেশ, এদেশ। আমি ঘুরি নাই বাবা। হ্যাঁ, আমার মধ্যে একজন আছে, হ্যাঁ, গুরু কৃপা করে আমাকে হয়তো যেখানে নিয়ে গেছেন সেই সব জায়গায় গেছি, এই পর্যন্ত। তাছাড়া আমার কোনো কিছু নয়। আমি কে? আমি কি খাই? না, খাই না। খায় ক্ষুধা। তেমনি আমাদের মধ্যে যে ষড়রিপু আছে, তারা এক এক সময় এক একটা কাজ করে। হ্যাঁ, যাই হোক, এখন তো বিশেষ কথা বলার সময় নেই। কিছুক্ষণের মধ্যে হয়তো আমাদের সঙ্গীত অনুষ্ঠান আরম্ভ হবে। হ্যাঁ, এখন আমি আর কিছু বলবো না। আবার পরবর্তীকালে যদি কখনো হয়তো সময় থাকে, কারণ অল্প সময়ের মধ্যে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান আমাকে আমাদের মৌসুমি মা আমার বলেছে, তা সেই অনুযায়ী এখনকার মতো এখন আমি আর কিছু বলছি না। জয় গুরু, জয় গুরু, জয় গুরু, জয় গুরু।
And to put that very briefly, what he said was Baul philosophy, it's not just about music, but it's a philosophy in itself. It's a practice, and music is only a part of it. And he would perform a little later, all of them would perform, so you would get a glimpse of that. Thank you.
Well, just to add a small point, and just to take off from where our panel, we've been discussing about the Fokir and the Baul issue, but I certainly think that Bauls have a single most important this curriculum, and that has got to do with transcending all sorts of man-made boundaries, and they firmly believe that reinterpreting and re-evolving in inside their own cult is their sole aim to kind of withstand with the changing times. And I certainly feel that all these divisions and these boundaries are pretty much man-made. Okay, at the end of the day, it's the philosophy which stands out. And when a listener listens to their songs or to their music, I think all these things they don't matter at all. And I certainly believe in this one line which says, dive within to soar beyond. And I always think of this philosophy as one of the primary doctrines of the Baul world. Dive within to soar beyond, which has always been. And I've read many books by like many authors, like people who've researched with Baul for like 10 years and stayed with them. I always found the books, evolving from West Bengal were a little bit biased because people didn't want to put information which was not acceptable by the Bhadralok Samaj, and they wanted to keep certain doctrines away. So I've always read books where I've found an unbiased opinion about the Bauls, and I would like to congratulate Mr. Capswell for this book release. And I haven't gone through the book, but I've done a little bit, like a bit of a research on the net, and there is a very big need that we get to read more books like this, and we transcend the knowledge which has been imparted to us through these books. And just to mention a small incident about Bhaskar Bhattacharya, who was working with Bauls, and he was like the content provider for Arte Television in France. Okay, Karthik had introduced me to him. Bhaskar, before he expired, this happened 4 years back in Chennai. He drowned in the sea, and before he expired, he had written a book, and these were all translation of the songs. He categorically told me that these songs need to go ahead, and it can be given any kind of a color and any kind of a form, but we need to work with these songs, and that's the need of the hour. And I'm sure Charles Capwell has written this book keeping in mind that this knowledge, এই তত্ত্বটা এটাকে এটা পুরো বিশ্বেতে you have to spread it. That's the main thing. That's what I have to say.
Just wanted to turn to the panel, another related question to what you were saying. As we know, music of the Bauls has been heard more and more all over the world, all over India, as we see a rise in the interest of, say, regional traditions, or I think abroad world music, which gave a platform to many of these traditions from India. So we see people kind of being known as stars now, or getting really famous as performers, not always as practitioners or so on. Do any of you feel, the panel, that has there been a change in this music in the last couple of decades due to its greater stage presence? Is that something that you can address?
Okay, I'm really sorry. I think the most important thing is Baul has not only become like a very well-known format, means over the last 4 or 5 years it's become really popular inside the contemporary music scene. But the need for dikha, or or like initiation is no longer there. We have a lot of musicians who kind of practice, sing, and they wear the garb and they're singing, and this this kind of a phenomenon has been going on. And as like Shotinadda here said, that most importantly, right now there are very few practicing bowls, সাধক বাউল যাকে আমরা বলি, ওটা কিন্তু ভীষণ কম আছে. There like means we have a big panel of বাউল শিল্পীস here এখানে, কিন্তু আজকাল যে মানে সাধক আসল বাউল ওই জিনিসটা কিন্তু আর ওটা কিন্তু নেই, অনেকটা মানে কমে গেছে. But when we performed with like Oikotan in Berlin, I certainly found one of the most important things was when I did a set of 10 songs with Karthik Das Baul inside the World Sacred Music Festival. I had to give in the list of all the composers of these songs. We did Joshimuddin, we did this, we did Lalon Fakir, we did and whoever was alive at that point of time. There was a small fund kept from the concert, and they would trace out these composers or these writers, and that money was going to them. This is what really it was an amazing thing. I was completely awestruck, and I would like to congratulate Sally and her whole team, because I just told her outside that for the last 50 years there is no independent licensing. The government hasn't done, if I may say so, আমার এটা বলা উচিত হবে না, but I don't think they have really recognized what this is. It's Bengal's intellectual property, and here we have baularchive.com, and I'd like to congratulate her for this. This is a great effort from them.
Yeah, I think because for communication, that is true for any musical communication. You have to be familiar. You have to present in a way so that your client, your group of listeners can take it better. So what Baus apparently are doing is using different kind of musical accompaniments, and their presentation has become more current in matching to the listeners' current requirements. And I find it a bit alarming in a way that aren't we losing the real essence of the music? So I feel a bit alarmed, but this is happening, and ওই পেটের জন্য করতে হচ্ছে আর কি, because I find the influence of I'm not an expert in it, but influence of, I would say, popular music. And you people, আপনারা এখানে আছেন, আপনাদের একটু দেখার দরকার বোধহয় যে এই মানে আপনাদের যে এত ধনী ট্র্যাডিশন, এই এত ধনী সংস্কৃতি, এতদিন ধরে আপনারা এত কষ্ট করে বাঁচিয়ে রেখেছেন, সেটা যেন এইভাবে নষ্ট না হয়ে যায়. দিস ইজ রেসপন্সিবল টু ইউ পিপল. আপনাদের উপরে এইটা একটা খুব বড় ব্যাপার, কারণ UNESCO has recognized this as a very special tradition. So there is recognition that Baul is a very special, unique tradition in the world. And the main thing in Baul that Dr. Jha pointed out, and later possibly Bonnie told, that it's a kind of rebel against the distributions. I mean different religions, different dharma, omuk tamuk, mane jat. It against this is a fight. This is a kind of revolution against this kind of thing, divide and rule policy. So we are human beings. So that kind of thing, if I'm not wrong, that kind of thing, that kind of vision, that kind of idea the Baus promote, this is a very welcome, and this should be welcome all over the world, that no divisions. We have to understand our inner self and our being. So anyway, I'm kind of deviating from my main topic, but I feel that it pains me when I hear or I happen to listen to some Baul songs going away from its, the way I used to listen when I was younger. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to add, add to further the opinions that have been espoused here. In 2008, I had spoken to a Centurion Phokir who was 107 at that point by his own admission, and remembered having seen Rabindranath. And I had asked him the very same question, that what does he have to say about what we call the appropriation of Baul music by urban singers, bands, groups, etc. And this the reframing rather of Baul music as simply music, completely dissociated from the practice, as world music, something that sells well, not maybe chart bursting, but as a decent business venture internationally, earning in various currencies. What does he think about that? He heard it all, and of course he was a Lalonpunti Phokir, so I was talking about Lalon Shah's music, and he gave me a response that had only 3 words, which was She Bozber Nalon. That Lalon will understand that. That's for Lalon to negotiate. Basically, I don't give an F was his answer. Because I will continue to do what I am doing. And as a result, I think that was the message that I got, at least, that it's our job to genuflect. Before this tradition, before this practice, we cannot be the practitioners ourselves. But we can be informed listeners. I think being an informed listener is of the utmost importance in this connection, because saying that Baul music transcends religious division, communitarian divisions, communalistic divisions is rather easy to say. It's very easy. It's lip service to that is very easy. But what is necessary is an informed approach towards it. It's just Shobloke Koy Lalon Ki Jat Songshare. That is the most popular Lalon song you'll ever hear. But then we need to go beyond that and look at when he says, O je bajiye banshi fitche shodai kuloboti kulnashe, shei kala chand node esheche. He's saying that, but he's also saying, Kayadhari hoye keno tar to bhobe chhaya nai, ei modinaye rasul name ke elo re bhai. We have to understand both, that by countering building-based institutions, Lalon was not, and Bauls and Phokirs are not proposing counter institutions. I think that is a distinction, that is a complexity we need to grasp. Without grasping of that, without an informed understanding of this practice, all of this is mouth-mere lip service, which means absolutely nothing. And it is in this regard that it's important to have something like Baul Archive, where this knowledge, this information, this documentation is being made available at an ubiquitous platform. Available. It's not hoary, it's not down in the midst of some kind of wall between the urban and the rural. But then again, there is the other aspect about which Charlie's book actually cautions us, which is that the Baul practice is covert. It's not meant to be exposed. Who are we to do that? It's Lalon talks in riddles. There is Shandho Bhasha. So it's an irreducible conundrum, really. I mean, how do you talk about, how do you express the inexpressible? Okay, I'll leave it there. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think we just, they're really ready to perform, and I think don't want to be between the audience and actually seeing and enjoying the performance. So thank you very much. Thank you to the audience.
No. Om Sri Sri Guru Pada Samartha Sar. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Ore আমি যার জন্যে পাগল, আমি তারে পেলাম কই রে যারে, আমি যার জন্যে পাগল, ওরে তারে পেলাম কই রে যার জন্যে পাগল। নিতাই পাগল গৌরী পাগল হরিদাস তার চেলা এরা চিনি পাগলে যুক্তি করে এরা চিনি পাগলে যুক্তি করে পাগল ভবের খেলা রে যার জন্যে পাগল আমি যার জন্যে পাগল হায় হায় তারে পেলাম কই রে যার জন্যে পাগল একজনে পাগলে দেখে এলাম বৃন্দাবনের মাঝে একজনে পাগলে দেখে এলাম বৃন্দাবনের মাঝে সেজে রাইকে করে রাজা সেজে রাইকে করে রাজা নিজে কোটাল সাজে রে যার জন্যে পাগল আমি যার জন্যে পাগল একজনে পাগলে দেখে এলাম শ্মশানে বাস করে একজনে পাগলে দেখে এলাম ওই শ্মশানে বাস করে সে যে এমন পাগলে সে যে আছে গৌর হরি বলো সে যে এমন পাগলে সেজে আছে নারীর চরণে বক্ষে ধরে রে যার জন্যে পাগল আমি যার জন্যে পাগল রাজা পাগল পূজা পাগল পাগল দাঁড়ে রে দাঁড়ি রাজা পাগল প্রজা পাগল পাগল দাঁড়ে রে দাঁড়ি ওই নাজির পাগল উজির পাগল বসেছে পাগলের কাছারি রে যার জন্যে পাগল আমি যার জন্যে পাগল একজনে পাগলে দেখে এলাম ত্রিবেণীর ওই ঘাটে একজনে পাগলে দেখে এলাম ওই ত্রিবেণীর ওই ঘাটে সে যে জানত মানুষ আহার করে সে যে জানত মানুষ আহার করে আর মরা মানুষ পেটে রে যার জন্যে পাগল আমি যার জন্যে পাগল তারে পেলাম কই রে যার জন্যে পাগল সে যে মরা মানুষ আহারে করে ওরে জীবন তো তার পেটের যার জলে পাগল আমি যার জলে পাগল হায় হায় তারে পেলাম কই ওই আমি তারে পেলাম কই রে যার জলে পাগল আমি যার জলে পাগল আমি যার জলে পাগল